Most AI companies won't survive the next 5 years. That's not clickbait, that's what the number one LinkedIn AI voice just told me. This same man who'd been featured on Time, Forbes, ABC, NBC, and BBC News,
million new jobs.
Professor Ahmad Banafa.
In the next 5 years, about 69 million jobs will disappear because of AI, but we will have 83 million new jobs.
Professor Ahmad Banafa, a technology fortune teller, an award-winning author of 10 books on AI, IoT, blockchain, and cybersecurity. He's been featured on Time, Forbes, ABC, NBC, and BBC News. How do we know which ones are legit and which ones are just about to crash?
There are three ways to measure if this company can survive or not: tech, talent, and traction. The tech, do they have something that unique? The second one is the talent, who's building the product. The last one is the traction. You could have the best AI, but nobody's using it.
What is one thing about AI in 2030 that will completely shock people today?
2030, it's going to be part of your refrigerator, it's going to be part of your car, it's going to be part of your doctor office, school. It's going to be there as part of everyday life. Nobody will notice that.
Can you tell me what you think makes a teacher great in the age of AI? Because since we students can ask ChatGPT anything, most AI companies won't survive the next 5 years. That's not clickbait, that's what the number one LinkedIn AI voice just told me. This same man who'd been featured on Time, Forbes, ABC, NBC, and BBC News, and many other big media platforms. They call him a technology fortune teller. But here's what really shocked me. He said AI isn't a bubble that's gonna pop, neither a black hole that's gonna swallow everything. It's something way more complex. And if you don't understand what that really is, you're gonna make some really bad decisions, whether you're investing, choosing a career, or just trying to prepare for the future. Hey everyone, I'm Rayyan, and you're listening to the AI Parenting Institute. Today, we're diving deep into what AI actually means for the next generation. Not the hype, not the fear, but just the truth. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Professor Ahmad Banafa, an award-winning author of 10 books on AI, IoT, blockchain, and cybersecurity. His books are ranked the best of all time by Book Authority. He teaches at San Jose State University, where he's won multiple teaching awards for making complex tech actually understandable. And right now, he has a front row seat to what actually works. He teaches at San Jose State University, where he's won multiple teaching awards for making complex tech actually understandable. And right now, he has a front row seat to which AI companies are legit, which ones are about to crash, and what 2030 will look like in a way that will completely blow your mind. So let's get into it. Professor Banafa, I'm so glad to have you here, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for the invitation, Ryan.
Okay, Professor, I'd like to start with this. You're called LinkedIn's technology fortune teller, right? So what is one thing about AI in 2030 that would completely shock people today?
Well, it's very simple. It's going to be invisible. You're not going to see it. You're not going to be like an add-on. It's going to be integrated in almost everything.
Mhm.
For example, now companies, they will be bragging about our product is an AI enabled or AI using AI. For example, when you look at Microsoft Office, they're talking about Copilot, which is their
Mhm.
AI. You're talking about any company, they say we partnered with ChatGPT and it's going to be part of our products. 2030, it's going to be there. It's going to be part of your refrigerator. It's going to be part of your car. It's going to be part of your doctor office, your school. So it's going to be there as part of everyday life, and nobody would notice that.
I've also noted that you posted that most AI companies won't survive for the next few years. So how do we know which ones are legit and which ones are just about to crash?
Well, that's a good question. There are three metrics or three, ways for you to measure if this company can survive or not. They call them tech, talent, and traction.
Mhm.
So the three T's, the tech, usually asking about, you know, uh, do they have something that unique, or they're just using, an existing tools and they just have a little bit difference between them and between the next competition. That's for the technology. Is it new? Is it niche in the market? The second one is the talent, who's building the product. You have to look at the engineers, you have to look at the marketing, you have to look at the researchers, and that will give you some assurance that this company has something to offer. The last one is traction, which is the customers. You could have the best products in the world. You can have the best agent of AI, but nobody's using it, and the
Mhm.
number of the users is not increasing, and they're not willing to pay for it. Then that tells you this product, maybe it's ahead of its time, or maybe they don't understand their customers. So looking at the tech and talent and tractions, I can make this kind of judgment. Plus the burn rate. The
Mhm.
burn rate is how much cash they are burning every month to see if they can survive.
Okay, so I want to come back to the AI companies because you mentioned the three matrix talent, tech, and traction. And I wanted to dig deeper into what that means for someone my age. But
Right.
really quick, before we get into that, how did you become the guy that everyone calls to talk about AI? Like, what's your story?
Well, I mean, you have to love what you're doing. I'm a teacher. I'm a professor.
Hmm.
So one of the things that will define anybody to be in a position to teach is they have to understand the material before they can teach people about it. The
Hmm.
the famous saying, if you cannot explain it in few words, you don't understand it. So if the best way for you to understand any topic is either to write about it, an article, a book, or to teach it, because your students will ask you so many questions that's going to expose all the directions on the angles of the topic. And you
Hmm.
have to be patient, and you have to have this passion for technology,
Hmm.
because technology is going at the speed of light. And if you are not keeping tab on what's going on, especially here in Silicon Valley, you're going to find yourself outdated, or you're going to be sitting in the middle of a discussion and you have no idea what they're talking about.
Hmm.
So I started with cloud computing, and then big data, and then we start talking, about things like, the quantum computing, and then we jump into cybersecurity, and then finally, in 2022, when ChatGPT came to the picture,
Hmm.
it was really one of those things that everybody saw that this is going to change the world.
All right. So you've got this massive perspective on tech, right? And where it's headed. So let's get back to what you said about the three metrics earlier. Because our audience is mostly teens and parents. They need to know what the job market will look like in the next 5 years. So could you tell us what your perspective is?
Well, here's the thing about it. There are a lot of studies about this. In the next 5 years, about 69 million jobs will disappear because of AI,
Hmm.
but we will have 83 million new jobs. So the whole thing about AI is the new jobs that will be created, like the prompt engineer, the AI
Hmm.
ethics, the use of AI in every field. For example, if you are somebody who is developing something in healthcare, then you're going to be considered as an AI healthcare. The traditional jobs itself will change. So
Yeah.
they will hire a paralegal, and they hire somebody who is specialized in AI, because they would like to understand how this function.
Hmm.
So yes, reskilling and adaptability is a very important thing for security, for job security, and also the important thing for anybody who's going to the job future in 5 years is the empathy and creativity and ability to work with AI. AI literacy is a must. It's like using a calculator, using the internet, and that was the case for all those technologies.
So for a 15-year-old like me, other than those skills you mentioned, what kind of skills should me as a 15-year-old develop and like used to be ready to enter the workforce in the next 5 to 10 years?
There are very specific things. For example, you have to learn, meaning
Hmm.
tech changes go fast. Curiosity is a superpower for anybody in this field.
Hmm.
And also, you have to master not only the AI literacy, the digital literacy, which is how the whole system works.
Hmm.
I can tell you that I'm going to use AI, but how AI can help me in my job, that is called digital literacy. And also you have something which is everybody know about it, knows this, which is something called the soft power, which is communication, collaboration,
Hmm.
and critical thinking. You don't take the answer from AI as it is, firm and it is final. You always check it, you think about it and see if that makes sense. In addition to that, experiment with AI. AI is your friend, is not your competition, is not your enemy. You're talking about tools like ChatGPT, or some of the image tools that can be used. So just experiment with it. I mean, you're not going to lose, anything. Education is a powerful tool for you.
Could you tell me how someone like me could learn to use critical thinking like a lot more better and even learn how to critical think?
Okay, it's all about discussion and common sense. When you go and take those classes, there's something called logic. 1 plus 1 equal to 2, and then you can think about what will be the consequences if it's not.
Hmm.
Critical thinking is a question. the answers. Critical thinking is question the hypothesis, the sources, the input, and the output in a way where you're trying to understand it. You're
Mhm.
not just surrendering your brain and say, okay, whatever you said, I'm going to accept it. If somebody told you the sky is made out of cheese, you're going to say, you're crazy. That's not true because I can see it. I know about it. I studied about it. So the more knowledge you have, the more tools, and your brain will be trained to question things because it's going against some of the facts you have. And that's part of the critical thinking.
As a professor and as an educator, what do you see as a must for schools to be doing right now that they're not?
Well, a school, need to stop treating AI like a topic. It's basically they look at it as part of their infrastructure, of their system, and integrate it in everything. They have integrated in history, integrated in science, and art. And you can create with AI an image of what happened 300 years ago, 500 years ago. By giving the right information and the description, you can just visualize something like this. Students need to be fluent in AI and not fear of AI, or look at AI as it's not going to stop you from thinking. AI is a tool for you at this stage. It's going to help you get into the answer faster, but you have and you must check that answer. Many of the schools they look at it. This is student going to just use it to solve any problems or any homework. Will upgrade the homework, change the style of the questions or the way you are assessing the students so it's going to fit with this kind of information. We've
Mhm.
seen this one, I'm old enough to remember, we've seen exactly the same reaction when the internet became,
Mhm.
available for everybody. So I can find the answer right away instead of going to the library.
Mhm.
And everybody start warning about it. Well, they're not gonna, thinking. They're just gonna grab the questions. We have the best revolution and evolution in technology since the internet came into our life. We're
Mhm.
gonna see this one 10 times with AI.
Professor, can you tell me what you think makes a teacher great in the age of AI? Like, because since we students can ask ChatGPT anything, how do you define and say or show that like a great teacher is actually great?
Well, the teacher should be, a guide, not a gatekeeper,
Mhm.
stopping from student from using AI. AI can give you an answer. You're right about this, but a great teacher, in my opinion, will teach you how to ask better questions. Instead of just asking a short question, what happened in this year, can you ask more, intelligent questions that will give you more in-depth answers.
Mhm.
Teacher, need to be help you becoming critiques and connect and create all the skills that AI does not have, because
Mhm.
AI is still at the beginning of the revolution of the AI. So the answer is based on what the AI was trained. So even if you have the answer, you have to look at it from from a point of an expert, and you see how we can connect that. In short, with this one, great teachers unlock the thinking, not just knowing. They
Mhm.
make you think.
So we can teach you how to like great teachers can help you develop your critical thinking skills.
Absolutely. By
Mhm.
asking the right questions, in the right way.
In your recent LinkedIn article, you claim that AI isn't a bubble or neither a black hole. So could you explain it in a way where a teenager like me would more clearly understand?
Okay, there's a debate going on because of the share investment. That's talking about trillions of dollars. A trillion is 1,000 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. We're talking about huge money invested in the building the data centers used to train the AI, and no return so far. On the all those trillions of dollars invested. So a lot of people look at it and say this is similar to what happened 25 years ago, where we have the dot com, which is everybody invested in the stock market in the companies, and then nothing happened, so everybody lost their money. AI is not a bubble because bubble will, explode, will
Birth
pop up,
eventually.
the burst anyway. But that's not going to be the case because you're talking about Microsoft, Google, OpenAI. Those companies they have tons of money. So even if one project fail, they still have money. And
Mhm.
it's not a black hole where you can burn the money and it swallow all this money without return on investment. We've seen it in our life. People using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is 82% of the market, and 2.5 billion questions answered by ChatGPT every single day. 2.5 billion. So that tells you there is actually a need for that. It's like it's if I want to give you an example, it's like a wild river. It's powerful. It's shaping everything in that path. If you know how to swim, you can get to whatever you want faster. Otherwise, you're gonna be lost and swept away.
So I really, Professor, I have a question. It's not really about AI, but just about like tech in general. So from your perspective, can you tell me one tech that is not AI that you think will blow up in the next 5 years?
Well, I don't have the crystal ball, but I can tell you that quantum computing will be the next technology.
Oh,
And just
really?
for yeah, for just to explain to everybody why quantum computing is really important, I'll give you a simple example. I use the same example in my class the first lecture, so people can understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Non-technical answer. Let's say that you are in a maze. Everybody understand the maze, which is you open the door, you go to the next door until you get out of that,
Mm-hmm.
complicated hallways. So if you open a door and then you go, you have dead end, you go and find the other door. Now, in the classical computers, the one that we are using today, you go door by door until you find the exit. If we are using quantum computing in this kind of situation, all the doors will be opened at the same time.
Oh,
That way
really?
you can find your way quickly. This is just an example. Like you can imagine that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So the quantum computing will accelerate the speed of calculations and make it so fast that so many things we are doing now, it's gonna be in nanoseconds. We're not gonna even
Wow.
feel it, which is will open the door for us for much better computers, much better applications.
A lot more
Uh,
opportunities.
exactly, exactly.
Professor, what do you think is the biggest AI myth that almost everyone believes?
Is claiming that AI thinks like a human. It's not
Oh,
yet.
really?
Yes, that's what everybody think. Well, even if they not declare it, they treat ChatGPT or Gemini or the others as they are thinking. They're not thinking. They're actually what they do is very simple. They give you answer based on what they have been trained. Just to understand the artificial intelligence has three types. One of them, which is called the narrow AI, which is like Siri and Alexa, you ask a question, you have an answer, and you're done with it. It's very
Mhm.
simple. That's one type. The second type is the general AI. We're not there yet, but we are approaching that, where the human intelligence and the AI they are at the same level. The third one is the super AI, where the AI is smarter than the human. This is like the
What?
movies, the Terminator,
No
iRobot. You
way.
think about it. We are approaching the general AI, which is really gonna start thinking, but we're not there. We we need to have new chips, new data, new programming so we can get to that level. What we have now is enough for what we are getting now. It's going to help us as one way for us to look at it as giving us answers that will satisfy our needs.
Professor, can you also tell me the weirdest question you've ever got about AI?
the There is many things about this. One of the things that for example, can AI distinguish or find if somebody's lying by just scanning their face, for example?
Hmm.
You can't, because some people, they have ability to have a poker live face, which is you cannot tell
Can't tell the
when
difference. Yeah.
yeah, again, AI cannot tell that. AI will would rely heavily on the data you give it. So if you give them more details, they can just give you some answers, and those answers are based on whatever information you have and whatever data they've been trained on in that specific geographic area.
And so I feel like also an AI can only like give you an answer based on the facial expression versus a human. Like if you're right in front of a guy and let's say you're playing poker, right? He's making a poker face.
Yes,
Basically, sometimes you can tell through like the personality of the person. Like if you know the person really well, you can
right,
say, "Hey, maybe this guy is like bluffing, right? So maybe
correct.
he doesn't have the cards, right?" So I think humans are a lot more better than that. And I'm not sure if us humans are able to teach AI and program AI to get onto that kind of level of understanding someone's bluffing or not. So,
Well,
do you think
that's yeah.
AI will get to that kind of level?
Well, that's the second level, which is the general AI, which is basically called the emotional.
Hmm.
There is a branch in computer science called affective computing. Start with an A, and that one translates emotions into equations but it's very complicated, and it's different from a country to another country.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll give you a simple example. If somebody is smiling, is that a smile of fear? Is that a smile of love? Is that a real smile? Is that a fake smile? One smile can have so many things associated with it because there is so many other factors. The other facial features, the way that person is sitting, how she is talking, how they are moving their hands or their eyes. And that's a very complicated branch, and we don't have the ability yet to get to that level where they can look at it and they say, okay, I know this person is not telling the truth. We rely on the physical features, when you have the lie detector, which is increase in the heart
Hmm.
beat, things like this, and which will tell you this person is nervous. So um, when we talk about to getting to that level, we gonna enter the level where the artificial intelligence will have the same intelligence as the human. When I say that, I want to make sure that everybody understand.
Hmm.
When I say that the same intelligence, it's the intelligence of the most or the smartest person on earth out of the 8 billion people. It's not the average person. So AI will get to the level where you find the smartest person on the planet, AI will have the same intelligence. And this is where it's the scary part of it.
Wow.
And no company is claiming that they got to that level yet.
That's yeah, that is scary. So, how long do you think it will take to reach that kind of level for AI? Like, you're saying 2 to 3 years, or like 5 to 10, or
You know,
multiple?
to be honest with you, with the surprise that we have seen with ChatGPT and also DeepSeek that happened this year, it could be somebody who changed the data or changed the hardware or changed the algorithm. I mean, let me go back to the basics. Artificial intelligence depends on three things. One of them is data, and the second one is the hardware, which is the chips like NVIDIA, for example, and the third one is the algorithm, which is the programming.
Hmm.
We use Python for that.
Hmm.
Using the combining all of them, you get AI, the generative AI we have now. Now, in order for you to go to the next level, which is the general AI, you have to have a different data. You have to have a different chips. You have to have a different programming language. Maybe somebody's working on all those three elements and will surprise us one day. But with the information we have now, we don't know about different chips. We don't know about where the other data are going to come from. And the same thing, the programming languages used for artificial intelligence is well known to everybody. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you never know.
So, Professor, is there any book that simplifies AI's complex concepts for teenagers? Because we usually, like us teenagers, usually get our info from like YouTube or podcasts. So, if there was a book out there, which one would it be and why?
Okay, let me give you an advice that's going to make everybody happy. Ask AI to help you understand AI. Go to ChatGPT and have a discussion with ChatGPT or Gemini and ask the system, I'm new to AI. Can you explain it to me? And get in this kind of discussion about what's the answers. And then ask the agent, ChatGPT, to convert this kind of discussion into PDF. That's your book.
That's a really good idea. I'm gonna try that myself after. Professor, you yourself have written over 10 books on tech. So, if you could save one from a fire, which would it be and why?
Well, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I mean, all of them is like your kids. You
Mm,
cannot say one is better than the other. But
yeah.
in a situation like this, the fire will take them all. I can rewrite them.
Hmm.
If you write the book, it's in your brain. It's part of your life. It's part of your soul.
Hmm.
So it's going to be a little bit hectic, but you can go and rewrite everything and
Hmm.
get them back. To publications, but all of them, I have the same love for all those books.
It's a really nice answer. Okay, Professor, last question. If you could go back and give your 15-year-old self one piece of advice about technology and the future, what would it be?
Well, that's an excellent question. If
Thank
I
you.
have that chance, and I can go back to the future using that beautiful car, in Back to the Future movie,
Yeah.
then what I'm going to say is, I'm going to tell myself, don't just learn, do not just learn technology and how it works. Actually, learn why it's matter, why this technology is matter for you, for your society, for the world. It's very important to have this sense of what will be the impact
Hmm.
on it's fun is good, happy is really excellent, but at the same time, if I created an app, is this app going to help a lot of people? This app going to bring a lot of people together, all of these kind of things is very important to keep in mind, especially for young, people like you guys, because you guys are the future.
Hmm.
So how this is going to help others, and if you have this sense of community and helping and shaping the future, we're not going to face the same problem we are facing today, which is about social media and about AI. People are misusing these kind of tools.
Thank you so much, Professor Banafa, for being so generous with your time and your insights. You're
No problem.
genuinely shaping how the next generation thinks about technology.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode with Professor Ahmad Banafa. He is proof that simplifying complexity is a superpower. And so here are my three takeaways from this conversation today. First, AI itself isn't going anywhere. It's a general purpose technology like electricity, so it's going to unfold over decades, not overnight. Second, the real danger isn't in AI taking jobs, it's the inequality between people who can use AI and people who can't. So if you're a teenager right now, your goal isn't to compete with AI, it's to learn how to work with it. And that will determine who thrives in 2030 and who gets left behind. And third, schools aren't adapting fast enough. So if you're a parent who can't wait for school to catch up, you need to be proactive about preparing your kids for the future. So here's your homework before the next episode. I want you to go and follow Professor Banafa on LinkedIn and read one of his recent articles. Then ask yourself, am I actually preparing for an AI driven future, or am I still thinking like it's 2015?